This episode is brought to you by marketing consulting firm The Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing, LLC, where creativity meets business. You can check us out at www.theblm.com for more information on how we help local artists and creatives maximize their business presence. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast. All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Hey. What up? What up? What up?
What's up?
What's up, people?
What's up? We out here in these streets. You already know.
What is up with the people?
How y'all doing?
What up?
What up?
Word.
What up? We are here. Welcome to season 4, episode 7 of the All Love No Fear podcast. It's me, KB, with my lovely co-host,
Mr. Mark, Mid-Poetic Bennett.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening with the hands, but here we are. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Hot, but good.
Yeah, we almost got shot up. Full disclosure. So
why shut up?
Part of why we got here started so late is because we had an errand to run and then we were hungry and we said, well, whatever. The people who are watching live know that we started late. And so we had to run an errand in another part of Queens and we were like, oh, let's get some food before we go back to start the podcast. So we stopped at a deli on Jamaica Avenue, or a bodega, I should say, a bodega on Jamaica Avenue to get some chopped cheese sandwiches. So we go in. Mark tries to order the chopped cheese. The guy, the cook, is acting like he don't understand. Like he just mute. He just standing there staring. It's like
he was just looking at me. I was like,
do you understand?
In my mind, I'm like, oh,
do you hear me?
In my mind, like, oh, he's on the phone.
Right? Are you deaf? Like,
I was like,
what's happening?
I was like, hey, what? Can I get something? He was looking at me. I was like, can I have a chopped cheese? Everything on it? Yeah. Why don't you not say anything to me?
Right, like it was just a very stressful
talk to me, please.
Interaction. It was just like, is something wrong with him? Like what's does he have some type of developmental delay? Like what's happening? So he starts making the sandwiches, whatever. Next thing you know, a guy comes in and orders a sandwich, and I guess he must have told the guy not to put it on the grill, not to put the bread on the grill, because when they make like sandwiches in the bodegas, they normally like put the bread on the grill and let it toast up a little bit. And I guess he was saying, don't put my bread on the grill, like leave it cold. And I guess before that, the same guy came in and ordered, or was trying to order something, and the guy did the same, and the cook did the same thing, just was kind of looking at him like. And the dude was like, you all right? Like, do you understand? Like, what's happening? So the guy places his order, whatever. And then he's standing there and he sees the guy putting the bread on the grill. And he's like, nah, don't put the bread on the grill. And then I guess the cook is like, no, that's how we make it. I'm putting the bread on the grill. And then next thing I hear is, nah, it's my effing food, son. If I don't want the bread on the grill, take it off the grill. Then the owner, I guess, comes in. And the guy says to the owner, yo, your cook is wilding. I don't know what's wrong with him. And then next thing, the following sentence was, yo, dude, you know me. You know I air this whole thing out. I was like, see, I'm hungry and I'm really just trying to get my meal. And I feel like he was very serious about airing it out. And I just was like, could he finish my chopped cheese before you start? Please, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was just standing there the whole time like, you know how you see a situation potentially escalating, but you don't want to be scary boots, but you also kind of want to see if it's really going to escalate.
Because you want to keep your eyes open.
Yeah. So I was just kind of standing there like this the whole time. Like I'm on my phone, but I'm like looking around like any sudden movements, because if that cook going to get shot, I would not like to be a part of it. I don't want to be a witness. I don't want to be anything. The dude was like, yo, I F this dude up. Y'all know how I give it up. I was just like,
and he was like, it's for my daughter. I was like, hood dude, you can't mess with hood dude's kids.
You really can't do that. He's like, it's not even for me, it's for my kids. You out here playing with my flowers. Like,
you can't mess with, like, I don't think people know this, but one should not mess with hood dude's kids.
Yeah, you shouldn't mess with them, period. But then when you start getting into the kids, it gets
one should not. It
gets a little different. I was just like, okay,
one should not.
And so he eventually finishes the guy's sandwich. They kind of have a few more words. Then he leaves. Then he finishes our sandwiches. We getting ready to pay. Then the cook want to come up there. All of a sudden, he got all this mouth. Yeah, that dude was talking mad enough. Next time, I'm a da-da-da-da. I was like, you wasn't saying stuff when he was talking about he was going to smack.
He was mad quiet.
He said he was going to smack you about 4 times, and you didn't say nothing. You sat back there quiet. You didn't say nothing. Now when he leave, now he went to the front and grabbed like it looked like a part of a broomstick or something. Like, oh, if he come in here again, I'm like, if he come in here again, you're gonna do the same thing you was doing before. Make the damn sandwich.
Be quiet.
Because he told you to your face. He was within smacking distance of you and told you he would smack you. You didn't do nothing.
You did nothing.
You did nothing. You just made your sandwich. So don't do that. Just accept that you got yelled at and move on.
And I don't think the cashier believed you either. He was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cashier was like, oh, all right.
That was the best part. The cashier was like, cool story, bro.
Okay.
The cashier know you're not about that life, so I don't even know why you up there like, he was like, hey, okay. That was the funniest part of it. He was like, yeah.
We come back, yeah. He was like, oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah, you about to do the same thing you did just now. Nothing.
That's cool.
Nothing. Because I promise you, I feel like if it was just that man and them people in there, he probably would have smacked them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think because the owner was in there and
it seemed like he respected the people that were in there and everything.
Yeah. Like, he seemed like he was cool with everybody else in there, but
he comes here often.
Yeah, he said, I come here all the time. I've been coming here, whatever. I think it was just that cook that was
playing games.
And I was just like, I love Queens. It's great here. It's one of my favorite places in the world. These types of interactions give me the giddies.
Giddies?
Yeah, it makes me happy.
They giddy.
But yeah, that was our adventure on this fine Sunday afternoon. So yeah, thankfully it didn't get aired out. We got our sandwiches and we're here now. So praise God.
Word.
Praise God.
Blessings flow.
Yes. That's a jam right there. Anything else going on? Come and talk to me. Yep.
No, we can just kind of get right into the love it
or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey, love it or lose it. Hey, Shibit do. Sorry. You know when you say shibby dooby doo? I'm trying to think. Walk it like I talk it. Hey, that's what I hear in my head when you do the shibby do. That's what I hear in my head. Is that the Migos?
You know, I don't know.
Walk it like I talk. No, that's I think it's Future. It's one of them people. I'm old. I don't really be knowing. Like, I be knowing the songs, but like
you still know more than I do.
But not really like who. And all them people look the same. I'm not trying to be funny, but they all have a look. They all like. It's the Migos.
They all dress the same.
They all dress the same. They all look the same. They all got locks. It's a lot going on. So people are interchangeable. So
on the flip side, that's how they felt about us in the 90s. That we all dress the same.
Facts, because we did.
Yeah.
But
so I understand. It's just like when you have the generation, you all just be like, all right, this is the cool thing to wear.
Yes. I mean, I do appreciate that a lot of the young male artists these days have locks, because I feel like that wasn't really a thing back in the day. So I appreciate the fact that so many of them have long, flowing, well-maintained locks.
Your outfits are more complicated than ours. Our outfits was like, do you have good Jordans?
Right.
Do you have good Timbs?
Like, it was just shoes and a fitted, really.
Do you have the flight jacket with all the teams on them? Do you have a jersey? Yeah. Our outfits were very
today's fashions are a little bit more involved.
It's very easy.
Yeah, it's a little bit more involved these days.
What jersey do you have?
Jerseys.
Is it a hockey jersey?
Is it a baseball jersey? Is it basketball? Who is it?
It was very base model.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do much.
Yeah.
Y'all got to do a lot of coordinating and stuff, and pay a lot more money with things. You have to pay a lot of money for like one thing. Like, the whole outfit didn't have to have a lot of stuff. We just had to have like one or two things that had a lot of things. And then everything else could just be mad basic. your whole outfit gotta be like crazy, like your jeans, your shirts.
Yeah, it's the Amiri, it's the Balmain.
Yeah, y'all gotta do all this stuff.
Yeah, like just the plain white shirt and the jeans is like almost $1,000. It's wild.
Yeah, we used to have plain white tee, jeans, and then like this fly shoes, and then we were good.
Yeah, but now they have the plain white tee that's like $500 because it's like 800 thread count cotton. It's lit. It's not for me, but you know, if that's what people want to do, that's their business.
Because we had the good, because like I understand you don't want to get the Hanes tee, the Hanes white tee.
Yeah,
the Hanes white tee is like it's a little thin.
It's meant to be an undershirt. It's not meant to be an outside shirt.
Even the quality white tees used to still go for $5 for $20.
Yeah, those days are over. Those days are over.
Quality tees used to be $5 for $20.
I mean,
you
could wear it, but like if you're in the crowd that wears the Balenciaga and the Balmain white shirt, you can't wear the $5 for $20. It's going to be obvious that you're wearing a $5 for $20. So I wouldn't recommend it. Just, you know, hang with people in your financial bracket, or, you know, just get your money up. I don't know. These are the options.
Got it.
That are presented. Yes. So to Love It or Lose It. Love It or Lose It is a segment we do here at the beginning of the show to kind of break the ice and just, you know, get some thoughts going, get the brain synapses going. So this week's Love It or Lose It is focused on, because I'm a fat kid, restaurants. I feel like we've done some restaurant ones before, but not these specific ones. So these are all sit-down restaurants with varying levels of jazz, I suppose.
Jazz on it.
Yeah, to me they're all on the same level, but I could see people arguing that there may be one or two on here that are a 0.5 cut above the rest. So sit-down restaurants that we've all, I hope, participated in, enjoyed, taken part in the past. And we're going to do a Love It or Lose It, okay? So the 4 restaurant choices are Red Robin, yum. Red Lobster. Many but I take you to Red Lobster. Cracker Barrel. They don't have a song that I'm aware of. And Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake, Cracker Barrel, Red Lobster?
Yes, Red Lobster and Red Robin.
Yeah, get the Red Lobster out of here. Let's go Red Lobster. Red Lobster is a biscuit only venue of occupation for me. I'm only going for the biscuits. I'm going for literally nothing else.
Okay.
So Red Lobster can get out of here at all times.
Okay.
And Red Lobster, I feel like has been overrated their whole life. Yeah, it's
Red Lobster. So I take that's your lose it.
Yeah, I'm not rocking Red Lobster.
Okay.
The other ones I've had multiple other things that I've liked there, but Red Lobster can get out of here at all times. I don't know why you put that on there. You don't do seafood.
I felt like maybe I thought you had a better feeling about Red Lobster than I did.
You like seafood. I don't know why you put that on there.
I thought that you liked Red Lobster more than you did.
If I want seafood, I'll never was Red Lobster.
You know why I thought that? Because we bought the Red Lobster biscuit mix the other day. Yes. So I was like, oh, well, maybe he likes Red Lobster.
No, strictly the biscuits.
Okay, well, now I know. Now that part's clarified for me. You strictly like the biscuits.
There's nothing else about Red Lobster I like.
Okay. Gotcha. Red Lobster is also my lose it.
I know.
Number one,
you don't like seafood.
I am allergic to shellfish, so that eliminates about 75 to 80% of their menu. More like 90% of their menu for me. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Yeah,
and
their menu can kill you. So
yes, their menu can kill me. And I'm not really into fish as a whole, like as a protein source. Like every now and again, I'll eat it, but it's not my go-to in terms of meat choice. So yeah, Red Lobster. I don't really like the biscuits either. People swear that they're the bomb diggity, and I'm just like, okay, girl. Okay. The few times I've been to Red Lobster and I got a chicken dish, it wasn't bad. It was okay. But that's not what they're known for. So I feel like, you know, I may not have gotten the chef's best when I went, but I I feel like Red Lobster is like a cultural staple, and people really, really love it and go up for it. Even though it's like, I feel like it has probably gone down in quality over the years, I feel like it still has like a loyal following of people. I mean, ain't none of the ones around us closed down. They've been open all this time. So people must be enjoying whatever it is they're serving down to the Red Lobster. So, kudos to them, but Red Lobster is my lose it as well.
Yeah, get that in.
What's your love it?
All right. Cheesecake, Cracker Barrel, and
Red Robin.
Mm-hmm. Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
I think Cracker Barrel works for me all around. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've had a bad thing at Cracker Barrel. Mm-hmm. Every time I went. The only thing that, of course, Cracker Barrel is it just has an aura of we've been racist for a while, and we just stopped being racist a little while. It gives the aura of we just stopped being racist like yesterday.
Yeah, it's very racist adjacent.
It gives this aura like we just stopped being racist like yesterday, but hey, but it is every time I've been there, it's been delicious. From the biscuits to the breakfast to we went dinner, it was still good. Mm-hmm. The lemonades, like it's
what was that cranberry tea thing they had around Thanksgiving?
Like every time I've been there, and inexpensive. It's inexpensive and delicious, and
you can leave full and have a bag to take home and not spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah. I think I like Red Robin, but I'm not that big of a burger person.
Gotcha.
When I'm in the mood for it, I'll have one. Mm-hmm. But like, if they had other things outside of that, maybe, then I would like, okay. But like, they have burgers, they have chicken, like they're good. I'm not taking away they're good. It's just a burger spot.
Yeah,
it's a fancier burger spot. Mm-hmm. Like it's a fancier smash burger.
Not a fancier smash burger.
Like, it's good. It's just a burger spot. Mm-hmm. And Cheesecake Factory, I feel like Cheesecake Factory hasn't figured out what it is. I don't know. I never know what's going on there. Like
it's just a place where they have food.
Yes,
that's what it is. It's a place where they have food.
They have no rhyme or reason to their menu.
It's just options.
So I make that. Let's make it.
It's just they have a lot of options.
It's not American. It's not Hispanic. It's not Latin. It's not Caribbean. It's all of the above.
It's everything. It's an international menu.
It's not international. It's just whatever we feel like making.
That's fine.
We're just going to make it.
Pretty much.
We're just going to make it.
Pretty much.
This looks cool. We'll do that. This looks cool, so we'll do that.
Yep.
And like, there's certain parts of it that Cheesecake Factory is just weird in terms of like I've had a bad meal with cheesecake once in a while, but like I've had good meals though.
Yeah.
I've had good brunches.
Yeah.
But like it's weird that they advertise themselves in their menu. It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, and we've talked on the podcast before about decor in there, and it's just like it's just weird. It's a lot that's happening.
Like, why do you advertise yourself in? We're here. Yeah. Why are you advertising yourself in the menu? It's weird.
It's a lot of weirdness that goes on. It's a lot of weirdness, but like you said, I don't think I've ever really had a bad meal there. I've definitely felt like I'm going to die from some of the meals that I've eaten there because
the calories are ridiculous.
The calorie counts are ridiculous. So like Cheesecake Factory is not for somebody who's on Weight Watchers unless they just getting ready to blow all their points for the week.
Or just trying to be healthy.
Or just trying to be healthy.
They have a healthy menu, which is I appreciate it.
Yeah. But I'm not coming to Cheesecake for the healthy menu. I'm coming to Cheesecake to eat the bad food. That's why I'm here. I'm here to eat the bad food and get a slice of cheesecake to go. Like, that's why I'm here. It's like, I don't know why we're playing. I think my love it is probably going to be Red Robin.
Yeah, I know.
And I was considering Cracker Barrel, but I think I'm a burger person. Mm-hmm. And I love the variety of burgers they have. I love the unlimited fries. That makes me very happy. And I love the seasoning. Like Red Robin has a seasoning that you can put on the fries. It's like, it tastes like a mix between like Old Bay and Adobe. adobo seasoning. Somebody said Adobe, like Photoshop. Adobo seasoning. It's delicious, and I love the fact that they'll just keep bringing them until you like throw up. I like their milkshakes a lot. They're really, really good. Like, and I'm a milkshake person too, and they're nice and thick, but they have good flavor. Like, it's not like, oh, this is a bunch of like cold ice cream and milk mixed together. Like, they really do a good job of like mixing them and making sure the proportions are right. And I feel like it's not that expensive. Like, I feel like you can go to Red Robin, get you a nice burger. And I like the different types of burgers they have too. Like, they have one where you can get pineapple on it, which is delightful. I forget what it's called. Like, it's not, is it Hawaiian? There's a name for it. It's like something teriyaki. Like, it's good. Like, I like the varieties of burgers they have, and it's not just like, oh, bacon. You can get it with chicken if you want, or a turkey burger. I like that option. And then I just like the fact that, you know, I've always had a very relaxed time while I'm there. Like, I feel like when you go to Applebee's and other places like that, it's like, it's not the same kind of vibe. Like, Red Robin, I've always had good service, a good time, good food. And I never felt like, oh, I spent OD money over here. Like, it was always like, okay, I feel like this was worth the money. And I like the games and stuff that they have. I remember one time we had a good time playing. What were we playing? Tic-tac-toe? Or some game we were playing that was at the table. Like, I just associate a lot of good times and good memories with Red Robin. And like I said, I'm a burger and milkshake person, so yes, that's my place to go to when I want to have that. So yes, Red Robin is my love it. Close second is Cracker Barrel, because they never miss. They never miss. It's always a good time. And I love their little Cracker Barrel store where you can buy, there's these chocolates by this brand called Hammond's, and they're chocolate, and they have like red velvet mix inside the chocolate. Bruh. When we go to Georgia, we got to hit a Cracker Barrel somehow when we go, so I can get some of those chocolates and bring them back home, because they don't sell them up here in New York. The only place I've ever seen them is in Georgia. So I feel like there are southern states. The closest Cracker Barrel is in New Jersey. Yeah. But like that chocolate they sell in that store, I don't know where it's at, but next time we go to Georgia, I need to see what's up at the Cracker Barrel and buy some to bring back to New York. So yeah, that was Love It or Lose It. Hey, 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 yeah.
Michaela said Cracker Barrel all day.
She know the vibes. So next time we are outside and, you know, we can be on the streets, we should take a trip to Cracker Barrel and eat to our heart's content. So let's move on to our main topic for today. It's kind of something that we've touched on in like a previous podcast and maybe season 1 or season 2, but I kind of want to talk about it again with a different lens today. So what inspired this conversation? And our topic is really talking about Black masculinity and why it seems to be so fragile, even though there is a narrative that Black men are strong, Black men are able, Black men are the kings of the world, yet somehow the masculinity is wild, fragile, and can apparently be impacted by things that have nothing to do with people. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Kid Cudi was the musical guest on SNL, and he was wearing a white floral spaghetti strap dress while he was performing. And the people, well, not the people, the Black male community specifically, and those who support some of their Hotepian ways, were up in arms, namely because he was wearing a dress on SNL. And Kid Cudi explained that the reason he was wearing the dress was to honor Kurt Cobain, because I believe that weekend that he did SNL was the 25th anniversary of Kurt Cobain's passing. And apparently one of the last photos of Kurt Cobain before he committed suicide was of him wearing a floral print dress somewhere. And so Kid Cudi wanted to pay homage by wearing the dress. Now, let me be the first to say I hated the dress. I was like, ew, this dress is, I hate everything about it. Like, it just, I hate the floral. Like, I love a floral, but I hate the dress just as a general It was a general concept. I hated it. Not because it was a man wearing it. I just hated the dress.
The dress in general.
The dress in general. I did not like it. I was like, ugh, this is trash. I mean, have you seen Pose? The men wear better dresses. Come on. But the Black Twitter, some corners of it were up in arms because, you know, the usual conversation about the effeminization of the black man and how they're trying to take away the black man's power by having this man wear a dress on TV and that whole thing started. And I couldn't. I was unable. Then I saw people making arguments about, oh, people don't know where this comes from. This is about buck breaking. And if y'all did y'all history and did y'all research, y'all would know. Da, 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 da. So I just, first of all, buck breaking is a thing that happened. Yes. And for those who don't know what buck breaking is, essentially during the times of slavery, white slave masters or overseers would forcibly anally penetrate black slaves, male slaves, in front of the whole plantation, basically, to kind of quote unquote break them and instill fear in the slaves and let them know, like, we can do whatever we want to any of you, male, female, child, whatever. It was very violent. It was very sadistic. It was evil. It was awful. It was all of those things. What does Kid Cudi wearing a dress have to do with that? The differences are astounding. For one, we're not in slave times. For two, there was no sexual innuendo, situation, conversation, anything like that happening when he was on SNL performing. And to my knowledge, when the buck breaking was happening, wasn't nobody wearing a dress that was male. So I'm not understanding how people are trying to draw the connections. Like, it's not making sense to me. I'm not a male, but I do not understand how what one black male does changes the view of what black men are or what black masculinity is. And if it does, then black masculinity is a bunch of garbage. If one guy who you don't know, who also doesn't know you, puts on a dress and performs on a TV show, and that somehow impacts your masculinity as an individual man, black masculinity is trash. It's fickle and it's garbage, because Kid Cudi wearing a dress should not have an impact on how you view yourself as a black man. And also, who are you worried about seeming masculine to? That's what I really want to kind of get to the bottom of. Who are black men concerned with seeming masculine to? Because I remember when we were in California and me and my dad kind of got into like a back and forth because Billy Porter, there was a poster of Billy Porter and I was saying something about how I like the show Pose. And, you know, Billy Porter be coming on the red carpets, you know, with the dresses and with the, you know, the more gender bending attire. And my father was like, people that support that are why people think that, you know, why this agenda is happening. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, agenda? Really? Agenda? I'm so confused. It's like, oh, this is why people don't take black men seriously. And I was just like, so the 100 black men that were on that red carpet wearing a suit is completely negated because one black man came with a dress. Make it make sense. If one black man who doesn't know any of you who are critiquing or commenting or anything changes how people see your masculinity, what does that mean? Why is your masculinity hinged on what another black man is doing? I don't understand. And it's because I'm not a man. So maybe the men who listen and the male co-host here can kind of give me some insight, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because, I mean, first of all, Kid Cudi wearing a dress is not the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard of. Kid Cudi's always been one of those weird experimental kind of artist anyway, so I'm just kind of like, okay, he wore a dress on a performance, big deal. Like, we've seen men wear dresses on TV shows before, like Martin Lawrence when he would be playing Shanae on Martin. We've seen, or feminine clothes at least, we've seen Jamie Foxx on what was the show, In Living Color. We've seen a number of black comedians, black actors, you know, whatever the case is, wearing dresses, and they're not less masculine because of it. Like, they were playing a character, even though there are some who have argued that them wearing a dress is part of an agenda to effeminize black men, blah, 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 blah. But my whole thing is, how is wearing a dress effeminizing a black man if we're still at the same token saying black men are seen as a threat? Both things can't be true, in my opinion. A black man can't be effeminized and seen as weak, but also then seen as a threat, if the one black man wearing the dress is effeminizing all of them. Like, the logic isn't adding up for me. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I'm confused as a person who is intaking this information from all these sides. I arrive at confusion. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, Mark.
All right. So I just wrote down. I was trying to write down a few points. All right. So first point. I think number one, it comes from insecurities. If you are looking at somebody else doing what they're doing, and you're being affected by them, and they're not doing harm to anybody and everything, that is insecurity of yourself. That is insecurity. We have to stop trying to, number one, stop trying to blame people for what other people think of you. Right. That is wrong and insane to do. Number one. Number two, the only people who keep trying to fight a stereotype that's not there are black men. Yep. Meaning there's not like I don't think there's not like a prominent stereotype that black men are feminine. It's not. The problem is
that's the part I don't understand. Like, that is not an overarching stereotype of black men, is that they're effeminate. So it's just like, I don't understand the fervor and the anger when a black man does something that people think is effeminate. Like, because that's not an overarching thing to me.
The reality is, we are actually more categorized as hyper masculine in everything.
Exactly.
We're always thought of as being hyper masculine. I think the problem is black men keep trying to hold on to that, which is a problem. They keep trying to hold on to being hyper masculine in everything, right? And holding that up like a banner, like it's a good thing to have. So they want to be the person who it can be everything stereotypically man, very strong at all those things. They want to be the person who's always serious all the time, the person who doesn't cry, the person who holds their emotions in, the person who's overly sexual, like all the things they want. A lot of men feel like that is what a ideal man is those hyper masculine traits. And the reality is it's wrong. So I think it's less of what this person trying to affirm the black man, but they're destroying their view of what the prime black man is. And the prime black man is, to them, is this hyper masculine thing. That's number one. Number two, corporation versus individual. A lot of times we keep. I don't understand why we keep coming down on individuals expressing themselves and trying to make it a broad-bound, like underground, something that's going on, like with like a what? I can't think of the word, but like there's something going on that's trying to change the black man, and they are a part of it. Kid Cudi is not part of the movement trying to defend the black man. No.
The alleged movement, because I don't know if I believe there is a movement.
I don't think there is. Billy Porter is not a part of that either. Right. Like, I understand where like the mindset, because like I remember Dave Chappelle was saying how like they kept trying to make him wear a dress, and he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And like how like there's this mindset that like all comedians, they had to wear a dress to like become funny, and like how white people try to, they want to dress. It's the funny thing is, white people think it's funny to dress black people in dresses because of our masculinity. That's actually part of the whole thing. Yes, because like so it's actually part of the whole thing. But like, I guess that's where that comes from. But that has nothing to do with somebody who wants to wear a dress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all keep trying to connect things that don't connect.
Right, right.
And the only reason that you're trying to make that connection, because in your mind, no guy would do that.
Right.
And it's not real. It's not like, you're like, oh, it must be the media or Hollywood trying to do that. No, they want to do that.
Right.
And I think that is kind of where the disconnect is a lot of times. And that is what the big problem is.
Right.
Next point. We have to stop approaching things oblivious to a whole fight that's going on out there. Because a lot of people who are oblivious to the whole movement of all the things, meaning, number one, someone dressing up in a dress does not make them homosexual.
Right. They just want to put on a dress for
Someone
something.
putting on a dress does not make them transsexual. That's not what that means.
Not that either.
It does not mean that. It just means they want to put on a dress. The most famous comedian, what's his name? Eddie Izzard. He used to just dress in dresses all the time, and he had a whole wife and everything. He never said I was a woman. He was like, I just do drag.
Right.
Drag has nothing to do with the others at all. It's just a clothing choice.
Listen, I had a professor in college who like did drag on the weekends, and like when he had a whole wife, some kids, but he for some reason was into wearing women's clothes and the makeup and the whole shebang, and that's what he was doing. Yeah,
that's number one. Number two, even if that was the choice, you have to stop making statements as if people are not like fighting for something.
Right.
And like we keep making statements as if like people are not fighting for just the right to exist a lot of times.
Right.
And everything. And we keep doing that. Like, even if you can just think outside of yourself for a second and you stop being so caught up in like what I believe, what are they fighting for?
Right.
If this is what's crazy. We just watched The Falcon and Winter Soldier. And the last,
now known as Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier, yeah. So a crazy statement that he made was like, if you see thousands of people fighting for something, instead of being like, doing all this stuff, let's ask the question, why is that a thing?
Right.
If thousands of people fight, there must be a reason why.
Right.
Let's address it. If it keeps happening over and over.
Right.
When Black Lives Matter are protesting over and over, instead of people saying like, we got to just outlaw all this marching and everything, why are they doing it? If people feel like so passionate about it that people keep coming a part of it and doing it, there's a reason why.
Right.
That means we have to address the problem.
Right.
If people are consistently addressing this over and over about, hey, let me be who I am, and it's a problem, and it's constantly been a problem. People keep expressing and saying it's a problem. Get out of yourself. Understand there must be something that needs to be addressed.
Right.
Stop taking it like you know, there's something
like you're taking it personal, like they're doing something to you, and it's like
it's something that needs to be addressed.
Exactly. And to kind of go back to what I said a few minutes ago, the professor I had in college was a white man who was doing this, who was cross-dressing like on the weekends. And it's interesting to me how white men never ever have a conversation, to my knowledge, about.
I'm sure they do. I'm pretty sure they do. But
a guy dress is effeminate, but the difference
not effeminizing the whole white race.
That's what I'm saying. Not effeminizing the whole white. Like one white guy cross dressing does not have the whole white community up in arms. Like, girl, they making no. Like they're just that dude cross dresses, and that's his business.
Race, but they do.
Of course, there are people who have a problem with it, but like nobody's looking. I don't think anybody's like they're effeminizing the whole white male. Like no, they're just like that dude like to cross dress. That's that dude. That don't have nothing to do with me individually. Yeah. In the way that other communities will take it and be like that one person is impacting all of us somehow.
The whole race. Yes. Yeah. Kind of on that stuff. That person wearing a dress doesn't turn somebody else homosexual. That's not how it works.
That is not how it works.
It has never worked that way.
Never ever. Never ever. Never ever.
Yeah.
Like people like. I understand that, you know, for various religious beliefs, personal, whatever you want to call it, you may feel like you don't, quote unquote, agree with someone being gay or whatever the case is, but it literally has nothing to do with Kid Cudi wearing a dress on SNL. Because people like always, well, what about the kids? Why is your kid watching SNL? It comes on at 11 o'clock at night. Shouldn't they be asleep? Number one. Number two, a man that doesn't want to wear a dress is not going to wear a dress. A man that is interested in trying to wear a dress will try to wear one from an interest that was already there. But a man who has never had an interest in a dress, never wants to wear a dress, is just going to look Kid Cudi and be like, I would never. It's not going to influence them to try anything. Like, I think people give too much credence to the media and its influence.
Yeah, they really do. Because they're so quick to assume that because you don't see it around you, that people don't be. If people don't see it around you, they won't know to be homosexual, and that's not how it works. And that's the reason why they the conservative middle America will always be like, oh, New York and California and Atlanta are have homosexuals. They're not all from there.
Exactly.
They're from middle America.
Yes.
And they come there because they accept them.
Yes.
They're not from there.
Right.
They're not born. They're like, oh, in Atlanta, I must be homosexual now.
Like, no, a lot of those people are transplants from other parts of the country.
Because they're not, because that we go there because it's acceptable. It's more acceptable than everywhere where I am to be there.
Right.
Meaning, you in a place where the Bible Belt, where everything is going on, where you keep saying that's wrong, is wrong, they still come out homosexual, meaning it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, like I have a good friend who's from the Bible Belt, went to Christian schools all his life, and is still gay, and is currently married to a man, and his parents always knew. When he finally told them, hey, I'm gay, his parents were kind of like, I mean, yeah, we kind of knew. Like, we didn't want to say, like, because they're Bible Belt, evangelical people, I guess they kind of were like holding on to a shred of hope that maybe what they knew wasn't what they knew. But they know their child. Yeah. They raised him. They know he's different from my other child. So it's like
preventing your children from being around homosexuals, being around anybody from that whole community is only creating bigotry. It's only creating people are bigots because they're going to be afraid of what they don't understand.
Exactly.
That's the only thing it's creating.
Exactly.
I will be more frustrated, more annoyed, and I will be a lot more angry of my child being terrorizing, being discriminatory or something to someone who was LGBT than them actually being it. I'm a million times more worse.
Right.
I am so scared of that.
Right. Because that means worse. We raised a crappy person.
Yeah. I'm scared of
who is intolerant and just
intolerant, who like talk like
who's hateful, who is just a terrible human being.
That is.
That's far more problematic to me than my child being like, I think I'm whatever.
I'm not saying it's not problematic at all, but I'm just saying my problems is strictly with someone being discriminatory,
right?
A bigot. Like I am
right.
I wish that more than anything else that my child is not that,
right?
And my child is not like I'll be very disappointed if I found out anything about that,
right? Right. And I think the thing that people, like black people and black men in particular, need to get clear about is the LGBT community is not new. No. People are acting like, oh, it just happened with the dawn of like pop culture and television. No, like there have been black queer men for years, for centuries, like this is not new. It's not news. It's not any of that. And so to say that after all of these centuries, black masculinity is threatened by something that just came about 20, 30 years ago in their mind is insane. It's insane. Like people talk about, the TV and the movies. What about James Baldwin? What about, black men that were gay in the 1900s, 1910s? What TV was they watching? What books did they see? They were still black and male.
The only difference is that you see them more.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes. You see them more. And I think that
because you were in your bubble that most people were not.
Right.
A lot of people were in the first place.
Right.
No, like once again, no one's watching something on TV and be like, you know what? I do like men.
Right. Like
I do.
No,
it's not how it works.
It's not what's happening at all. It's not what's happening at all.
It's not how it works. If you didn't like men before, you're not gonna like men now.
Yeah, like seeing Kid Cudi on the TV is not going to suddenly turn a whole generation of black men into men who like men. If they didn't like men before, they don't like men now. Like, nothing has changed.
That's not how that works.
It's not how it works. And so I think when we see things like, you know, black men doing things that other black men don't think are masculine or whatever the case is, we have to stop like attaching ourselves to what that person is doing and attaching our own identities to what that person is doing. Scott Mescudi, aka Kid Cudi, is one person. That is what that one person chooses to do. That is his business. I don't think he's ever come out and said he's LGBT. As far as I know, he just said he put on the dress because, and you know, artists are always, you know, a little off, and eclectic, and they just kind of do.
I'm pretty sure
their own thing.
I'm pretty sure Young Thug will shoot you in the face, and I'm pretty sure he wears dresses.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he'll shoot you in the face.
The gender fluidity is. I mean, I know it's a hard concept to wrap your brain around, especially, you know, when we've come up in a time where it's been very like, you know, there's male and female and that's it. There is no in between. But I think there are people out there who are living their lives in a way to where we have to challenge that thought process and be like, well, is there just that? Is there something else? Are there other things?
Or like, honestly, the big thing is, and I think people keep trying to, like, well, we might have this conversation one time, or we might never, but when it comes down to that, just if someone says, I want to be called this, then just call them that. I think that's the basic rule. Right. I think stop trying to figure out, making it too hard. If someone says, I'm not that, I'm this, okay, then this. Great. Right. And then move on. I feel like that is the end of it. Basically. Yeah, I don't think it's that complicated.
No, not at all.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I think we definitely overcomplicate things, and I think we over-involve ourselves in things that aren't really our business. And like, I think whatever
whatever you want to be, I will call you that. That is the end.
And that's just my whole thing with this whole conversation. It's just like, if you are a black man and you feel like you exhibit whatever masculine means to you, then do that. Live that. Be that. What that other black man is doing is not your business. It's not your concern.
It might be masculine to him.
It might be masculine to him. Masculine, black, and thank you. That's the point I was trying to get to. The idea of black masculinity, just like black people are not a monolith, black masculinity is not a monolith. Each black man gets to decide for himself what masculinity looks like for him. And it should only be applicable to him because he's the one deciding. What Mark thinks is masculine, somebody else might not think is masculine. What Steve Harvey or, who's another older black man? Harry Belafonte, their definition of masculinity may be completely different. Yeah. From somebody that's part of a younger generation. So I just think that masculinity for a black man has to be something decided by an individual black man. And the other thing I find interesting about, masculinity when it comes to black men is black men will talk about, these dudes wearing dresses, these dudes wearing makeup, these dudes doing this. But it's like, if we're talking about biblical terms, a lot of times masculinity is surrounded around providing for and taking care of your family. That's what a lot of the quote unquote masculine men in the Bible were doing. They were taking care of their families, taking care of their children, taking care of their wives. And if we're going to be throwing out the masculinity conversation, especially when we're coming from a religious standpoint, there's a lot of black men that's not holding up that part. There are a lot of black men out there who are making babies and not taking care of them. There are a lot of black men out there who are in relationships with women and they're not taking care of their responsibilities in those relationships. They're just sitting back. So it's just like black masculinity cannot be reduced to what kinds of clothes you wear or how you talk or how you walk. You also have to be doing something that is positively impacting your community. So if you're a black guy who's sitting watching SNL being like, nah, he not a real man, but you're like 3 years behind on child support, you never see your kids, you abuse women, like we don't have anything to talk about. I'm sorry, because you're not a walking definition. You're not an example of black masculinity, if you're not taking care of whatever responsibilities it is you have. So you don't have anything to say about what another black man is doing when you're not even being the best black man that you could be. And I think that's the other problem for me, is like a lot of people that are commenting aren't even being the best version of themselves as a black man that they can be, but they draw the line at wearing a dress. I'm like, but how are you impacting your community? How are you making a difference in your family? How are you taking care of them? Why is that not what black men are more focused on as opposed to outward things? Well, when it comes to defining what masculinity is.
Yeah. I'll say that and then I'll go with something else. Yes, what you're saying is true. Live up to it, like whatever your version of masculinity is, at least live up to that. Live up to your own standards of what masculinity is. Right. Like, live up to your own standards. Stop worrying about what other people's standards are. Right. Live up to your own standards of what masculinity is and do that. Agreed. All right. That's number one. Number two, what Kristen is saying is correct about everybody having their own, because like I even remember, like, I would grow up and I would hear like conversations many times with guys when they would say certain things about other women and stuff like that, and I've always felt uncomfortable in those conversations. Mm-hmm. And like how they spoke about other women, I've always felt uncomfortable in those situations. I've just always been that one. Mm-hmm. I've always felt uncomfortable in situations. I'm not better than anybody else. I don't want to put that out there. Right. I'm not better at all. But I've always felt uncomfortable. But I also, like, subconsciously when I was younger, I felt like maybe I didn't feel that masculine about because like in my mind, all the guys are doing this. Mm-hmm. So I was like if all the guys are talking like this, and like I just never wanted to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Like later on, I realized I was like, all right, I've developed my own form of what masculinity is, and like if you don't have this, then you trash. But like as a child, it's the conflict of like doing that, meaning like I can see how someone. And this plays into the whole thing. This is why you have to be mindful of what you say to your child when certain things happen. Mm-hmm. So if your child says, I want to wear a dress, how you respond to that can do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Right? It can now, if you respond to this very negatively and very aggressively, it can do a couple of things. Number one, it can just make the child be like, okay, so now I see how you respond to me. So now if I see anybody else who goes through that, I should respond the same way. Mm-hmm. Right? That's number one. Number two, my father talked to me this way because of this, and this is something that I feel like I want to do. Let me not talk to my parents that way. Mm-hmm. let me just distance myself from my parents because they're not appreciating me for what I want to do. Mm-hmm. That's number two. Number three, it can kind of actually write your own story because like you're telling your son that if you do that, you're gay. And then he was like, oh, so maybe I am gay. Right. You kind of write your own. Right. Write your own thinking, oh, maybe I am because I want to do this. So obviously I am. Right. And like, so like it's so many things of like why you have to be, no matter what your child does, how you respond matters. Right. And everything. Because it could affect a lot of things. It could affect the people around you and everything. Mm-hmm. It's like, the same thing if I want to bring race into it. It's like it's the same thing as if someone anytime someone from a certain race comes up, you're just very adamant, you're talking negative about that race and everything like that, and then your child grows up and they start saying racist things. You're like, where did you learn that from? why would they do that? Mm-hmm. You're like, because of you. That's why you're doing that, because of your views on and how they interpreted your views on certain things. Mm-hmm. You can't be surprised when they act a certain way. Exactly. Anything else? Yeah, just, my overarching thing is just black men are beautiful.
Black men are amazing. Black men are powerful. Black men have the capacity to change not only their own lives, but the lives of others around them in the whole world. And I celebrate and love Black men forever and ever. But mind your business. Mind the business that pays you. Worry about yourself, as the sis in the video said many years ago. Worry about yourself and just do what you have to do to make the best life you can for yourself and for those in your corner of the woods. Stop attaching your own identity, your own sense of worth, your own definition of who you are to what another man who shares the same skin as you looks like. Just stop. Just stop. For one thing, you're wasting time and you're focusing on somebody who don't care about you, who don't know you. All of y'all up here writing these think pieces about Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi is at his house counting his dollars. He's not worried about any of you. Worry about yourself. Just do that. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. And it'll change the world. The faster we can worry about ourselves and worry about the things that matter. Like at this point, with all the police brutality that has taken place in this country over the last, 2-3 years in recent memory, Kid Cudi wearing a dress isn't what we should be focused on, or it isn't what Black men should be focused on, in my opinion. Black men, if you're going to be focused on something to, enhance the masculinity or whatever it is y'all want to call it, be focused on how to enact change to prevent or reduce the numbers of shootings we see. Let's be working on something positive to change our communities as opposed to spending time pontificating about Kid Cudi and a dress. Just find something to do. There are other ways to spend your time that aren't that. That's my only thing. Like you can't be strong, beautiful, gifted, all the things that Black men are, and your masculinity be reduced to a ninja you don't know doing something. Like it doesn't. The math not mathing.
Or a person you do know.
Or a person. It don't matter. That's that person's business.
Or a person you do know.
Or a person you do know. Because if you have a sibling or a close cousin who is part of the community, what that got to do with you? But nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with you.
Even if you do know them.
Right. Stop attaching yourself to things that have nothing to do with you. Mind the business that pays you.
That is their personal choice.
That is their personal choice, and that is their business. Mind the business that pays you. You'll be blessed. I promise. That is it on this topic.
Main topic.
Let us move on to our artist spotlight.
Artist spotlight.
So this week's artist spotlight, as you know, it is National Poetry Month. How many more weeks of National Poetry Month do we have left? I think next,
like one more.
No, I think this is the last one, because next week's episode is going to come out it'll be May, because May ends this week. So next week's episode will be out on the 4th of May. Yeah, so this is our last National Poetry Month situation.
Oh, so I gotta...
what?
Long story. I gotta... okay.
What happened? You had asked somebody?
No, I gotta finish this poem I'm supposed to be doing for somebody.
Oh, you thought you had more time?
Yes, I did.
No.
It'll be finished by next week.
Yeah,
I thought I had more time.
You do not have more time. This week, it's April 25th. April ends on Friday, and then Saturday officially starts May. You do not have more time.
I need more time.
You had a mild panic on your face. I was like, what's going on here?
I was like, I definitely need more time.
Oh, okay. When's it due by? Or when were you planning to have it? Is it for April?
No, it's supposed to be memorized, written, and memorized by next week.
Oh, like tomorrow-ish and on is what you're saying.
By Sunday.
By this. Okay, so you've got a whole week to work on it. You can do it. I believe in you. You are a starrer. Is it written?
Most of it.
Okay, great. I thought you were going to say no, because then I'm like, well, you're effed, unfortunately.
Yeah, if I had nothing, then yeah.
I'd be like, well, I don't know. You're just going to have to tell this person you can't do it.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is our final National Poetry Month entry, and this is from our good friend Stephen T. Lacardi, aka Sven Bo. We have been homies with Steve for, I don't know, a long time.
Yeah.
Like before we got married. So running on what, 7 or 8 years?
Yeah.
At this point, we've been cool with Steven. Steven did a poem at our wedding, which is framed. It's behind us somewhere. And yeah, he's a bomb poet. I like what he does. So this poem is called The Badge. And I think it's very apropos for some of the topics that we're going to cover once the poem comes off. So listen to it. Stephen T. Licardi, aka the Sven Bo, with his poem, The Badge.
The Badge.
And this was written, what, 7, 8 years ago? A long time ago?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
I know a man. He wears a badge. He said, "We all have numbers." Mine is stamped to a shield that I pin to my chest every morning as I watch my wife sleep. I know the only reason she can is because I came home the night before. My reward? Cold dinner on the stovetop. He said, "You know, this badge is a target. When I graduated from the academy, they didn't hand me a cape. They didn't tell me the perks of being a hero were things like sleeplessness, divorce, fatigue, paperwork, PTSD, having to dodge bullets just to secure good retirement benefits. They handed me a number. Do you know what it's like to walk around with a target over your heart?" Well, he thought, what if that target was your skin? And you couldn't take it off at the end of the day. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying maybe it feels like it every time you hear about another unarmed man killed by police brutality. As for me, I turn to my partner and say, maybe we need to do something differently. But in the locker rooms, I'm hearing jokes about stop and frisk. And at the morning brief, there are rumors about targeting minorities. Now, these cops, they're good people who had justice in their childhood dreams, who only want to come home so their husbands and wives could sleep peacefully. But where is peace? He said, every morning when I walk up those steps and I see blind justice staring down at me, I'm beginning to think maybe she's just colorblind. He said, something happens when a gun is strapped to our hips. When we're told to uphold the laws, but to make sure our quotas are met. A paradox persists. How can you uphold the laws without existing outside of them? He said, 2 of my brothers in blue were assassinated in the streets. Well, tonight, we'll book men who have seen their brothers assassinated in the streets. Why can't we see? We all want the same thing. We all have numbers, he said, but none of us want to be reduced to one. Because when we're lumped into a statistic, our collective humanity equals none. 121 police officers died in the line of duty last year, while over 1,000 men and women were killed by law enforcement. Now, I'm not saying it's simple. I'm not saying it's easy. In fact, I'm saying it's hard to reconcile what my higher-ups are telling me, avoid racial profiling, but they can't define suspicious activity. Meanwhile, the people in the community are suspicious of me. How can I protect the people if I can't protect them from me? He said, I've been questioning. There are people in this city who equate murderers with police. While the police are turning their backs on the mayor, this is not how things are supposed to be. He said, every morning when I come home, and I take that badge off my chest, the one that I wear honorably, I know I'm one of the lucky ones. Because we all just want to come home. We all want to know that our loved ones are safe. But for those who don't, he said, they're not just numbers. Every single one of us has to carry their names.
Hey, 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 hey,
Yes.
hey.
Yes, Stephen. Yes, yes. It's a shame that there's so much about that poem that is still apropos today. Because that was from a while back, April 45th. But yeah, shouts out to the Sven Bo. He's on the Instagrams and stuff like that. We'll link all the informations once the episode is officially posted or whatever. So, I guess let's get right to it. So, Makaya Bryant. I hope I'm saying that right. So if you haven't heard, if you haven't been under a rock, in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, I believe. A young woman, a 15-year-old by the name of Makaya Bryant, was killed by a police officer, shot 4 times in the chest. I think I read after she was in an altercation with some folks. She was in a foster home where this happened, and the details were very fuzzy at first. They've released some police video, what do you call it, the body camera footage, and from the body camera footage, it looks as though she had a knife in her hand and she was lunging at one of her attackers. So as more details about the story come out, it appears that this young lady, along with her little sister, were in foster care. And I'm not sure what the reason is. I haven't gotten that information from the articles I've read. But the young lady and her little sister were in foster care. And she was being bullied by other people in the foster home, as well as the foster mother's associates. And so the individuals that she was engaging with before she died were people that the foster mother had called over there to fight her. So the foster mother called people over there to fight the girl. Then the foster mother, along with a bunch of other adults, stood out there and watched the whole thing ensue. Someone called the police, and within 6 seconds of arriving, the police see Makaya with a gun, with a knife, and shoot her. There is no attempt to get an understanding of what's going on, make an assessment of the situation. They see knife, they shoot. And to see the amount of black people justifying the girl getting shot, well, she had a knife. Okay. Was she lunging at the police officer? She didn't even know he was there. And people are like, oh, well, he announced himself. Okay. I don't know if you've ever been in a fight or you've ever been in an altercation, but in the heat of the moment, you cannot hear anything. Many times you are so focused on what's happening in your immediate area. Hearing somebody, you might hear it faintly, but you're not registering it because you are responding to what you perceive as a threat. So, but everybody's been in these situations before, so they know exactly what happens. People were like, yes, she had a knife. She deserved it. She shouldn't have been out there fighting. She shouldn't have been in the streets, blah, 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 blah. Just making a whole bunch of excuses for why the cop was right. And a lot of them were black and a lot of them were male. And I was disappointed to see it. And female too. Because we talk this whole protect black girls, protect black girls, protect black girls. But when a black girl gets shot by a police officer for having to defend herself against 30-year-old women, because those weren't other teenagers out there trying to fight that girl. Those were adult women. Those were women my age who had no business at any point engaging in any kind of physical altercation with a 15-year-old girl. But when we saw her get shot, there was no protect black girls, justice for black girls. So many black people were ready to jump down that girl's throat and say she deserved to get shot. It was disgusting. Disgusting. Y'all don't care nothing about black girls or black women. Y'all are disgusting. I've been in high school, as we all have been. And there have been fights where weapons have been pulled. And teachers have been able to break those fights up. Social workers have been able to break those fights up without anyone getting shot. So I refuse to believe that the only alternative was that girl getting shot. Because the argument is, oh, well, she could have stabbed the other girl. Okay, she could have. Would the other girl have potentially died? Maybe, maybe not. But that still doesn't justify her getting shot for having a knife in her hand. It just doesn't. And I don't care what any of y'all say. Y'all can argue me down if y'all want. I don't care. I don't think there's a justification. And then I saw a post and I wanted to read it because this is from someone who lives in that area and is familiar with the situation of what was going on. So basically, there was some issues in the foster home. The little girl called her father. The father was over there. I don't know why none of the adults didn't try to interject and stop this nonsense. I don't know why they stood there and let it happen. They are at fault too, in my opinion, because That's a kid. And if one of them 30-year-old women had got their hands on that girl, they would have beat her senseless because they're bigger and stronger than her. So I don't understand why nobody interjected and just stood there and watched that whole thing. So the adults that were standing around watching that fight are trash as well. But this is from someone who is in the area. So she says, FYI, I went to the memorial yesterday and spoke with Makaya Bryant's family and friends. Those girls, one was a 28-year-old adult, had come to Makaya's foster home 3 days in a row trying to fight her. Can you imagine being 15 and a 28-year-old, like a grown adult woman, coming to your house 3 days in a row to fight you? Can you imagine being in foster care? It's just you and your little sister. Your mom is not there. Your dad is not there. You don't have any other family members. It is you and your little sister, and big women are coming to fight you. Can you imagine how scared she was? The fact that she got a knife lets me know that she was terrified. Okay? Not the little gangster that y'all try to make her out to be. The foster mom is the one who had the girls come to fight Makaya, claiming she was unruly. Everyone in the entire house was against Makaya, and when her father came, she finally felt safe enough to come out and fight. Imagine a 15-year-old thinking process of having to fight a 28-year-old and others, and her own foster mother calling to have her beat up. Makaya's little sister is the one who made the 911 call. 3 days straight, all by herself. I'm sure Makaya was extremely scared, but she felt she had to be brave and protect herself by any means necessary. This information hasn't come out in the media just yet, but if the investigation is done properly and there's transparency, you will hear all about it. Had the cop tased her or simply attempted to stop her from stabbing the girl, he could have found that out, and that's why he, along with the foster mother and all adults involved, are at fault. And that's all I have to say about that. That is heartbreaking. We've all been 15 once. To think that a bunch of grown women are trying to beat you, and your foster mother is the one who called them to beat you, and all it is in your world right now is you and your little sister. I have no doubt in my mind that little girl did what she thought she had to do and did what she thought was best. And the fact that she died over all the adults in her life failing her is sad. And so anybody who tried to justify her getting shot, I'm forever going to look at you funny. I don't care what you try to tell me. I'm forever going to look at you funny, because that whole situation was messed up. Every adult in that girl's life failed her. Every single one. Because I'm trying to understand why, if her father was there, why her father didn't come and be like, all right, that's enough of that. Y'all ain't jumping my daughter. Like, what was happening? I need more understanding about why her father was there. And this still got to the point where she ended up getting shot by the police. But I just want to say rest in peace to her. I hope her little sister has been removed from that foster home, because I cannot imagine her still living there knowing that her sister is dead because of the person who's supposed to be her foster mom and those friends. I don't know what the situation is with their biological family, but I hope that little girl is no longer in that foster home, because I cannot imagine the trauma of not only seeing your sister get shot by police, but knowing that the people you live with who are supposed to be protecting you and taking care of you are the cause of that happening. This situation is all around disgusting and sad. And for as much as we like to talk about police brutality, some of y'all look like some whole slaves defending that police officer killing that little black girl. And if y'all mad about me saying it, then be mad. But that is disgusting to me. The fact how many of y'all were really to jump up and cape for an officer who shot that little girl, but will turn around and Black Lives Matter me to death and defund the police me to death. No. I see you and you look funny in the light. I don't like it. Sorry if I went on a little rant. The whole situation is just very upsetting to me.
Yeah, I was just letting you go. I was very upset the whole time. What you're saying is true. I'm not gonna overstate what you said. All the adults in there were wrong.
Garbage.
The people who were standing there letting it happen.
Garbage.
The cop who shot her. The person who didn't go up to the cop when he first got out the car
and explain what happened. All the people, failure all around.
All the people in the situation
dead wrong.
Failed her.
Dead wrong.
And everything.
Dead wrong.
And she died because of everybody's failure.
I get sad thinking about the terror that little girl must have felt.
Yeah. So it's all that was wrong. Everybody kept trying to justify kept trying to tell me about police policy. I kept seeing posts about like policy says this, policy says that. That is the problem.
Yes.
No, I'm not arguing what they train them to do.
Right.
I'm telling you that is wrong.
Right. Yes. The training is the problem.
I'm not telling you what they're not trained to do. I'm telling you that is wrong.
Yeah. The training is the problem.
I'm telling you that it has to be different. It has to be a different solution. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you that based off the policy that all the police officers and the court is going to say that he wasn't in the wrong. I'm telling you that's the problem.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that the court's going to say all these situations and everything that you've been saying. The court's going to say that. Right. I'm still saying that is the problem.
Yep.
And I think people are just not connecting those two dots.
Right. It's like
just because it was
you can't defund the police but defend the police at the same time. Like pick one. Pick one.
Just because it's legal in the eyes of the law doesn't mean that it's correct.
There's a lot of things that's legal in the eyes of the law that are jacked up. Yeah. Many things. We can all agree on that.
Because, like, I think that is what the problem is. We keep trying, and that's what the argument is every time there's a black shooting. They're kind of trying to figure out, is it legal in the eyes of the law? No. Is it right or wrong? Right. You keep talking about what's legal in the eyes of the law. That's not what I'm fighting for. Right. Legal in the eyes of the law, one thing, but also there's a problem with the policy of how they approach it.
Right. Right. Agreed.
Like, the reason why the black police officers kept getting off because they kept saying they were fear for their life.
Right. And how are you in fear of your life as a police officer standing 6 feet away from the girl and she ain't nowhere near you? What are you in fear of? And she wasn't trying to stab you. Yes. Because if she was trying to stab the officer, I'd be like, okay, I could kind of see what the argument could be. I would still think it was messed up, but I could kind of see you might have felt threatened, but she wouldn't even try to stab you.
Yeah, but like for that and for every other thing. Like,
and then to say shooting her would have prevented the death, shooting her prevented the death of the person she was attempting to stab. How do you know? What if one of those bullets had accidentally hit that person or one of the other people that was standing around? So more people could have died. So what is...
y'all keep telling me...
It's not making sense.
About... what the policy is. I'm just saying there has to be a better way. This cannot happen. Yeah. And that is the best. This cannot happen. It doesn't matter. This cannot happen. Yep. That's it. Yep. I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Yeah. I really don't. But yeah, this just can't happen.
It just can't. There have been two other police related shootings involving a young guy in a high school, a 17-year-old. I guess he beat up the girlfriend and the mom called the cops and they went to the school and shot him. They were claiming he had a gun. I think that has been proven to be not the case.
Yeah, they said he had a gun and he did not.
And then there was a young guy in Virginia. The police had given him a ride home and then they came back. He called 911. They came back and they shot him. Not really clear what that's about, but what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Like, we got to get off the what's legal. Like, no, some things are wrong and some things are wrong. And that's just the bottom line. And if we can't even admit that as people, then we are just too far gone. Period. Derrick Chauvin is going to the jail. He was found guilty on all 3 counts. We'll see how that, what the sentence is going to be, because folks like to play. They trying to come up with an appeal strategy, and what they're trying to say is the words of President Biden and Maxine Waters unduly influenced the jury and they were bullied into voting guilty. I'm like, or we saw video and testimony which basically confirmed what we saw in the video, that George Floyd did not die from drug overdose or whatever storyline they were trying to sell. He died from the police officer kneeling on his neck for almost 9 minutes. I don't think there's anything that the president, Maxine Waters, anyone could have said that would make that not be the case. So I don't understand the reaching. I'd be very interested to see if they try to come with an appeal. Derrick Chauvin looked mad shocked when they said he was guilty. He was looking around like, huh?
Like me a good
me guilty? Who said that?
But
the people, sir. The people said that.
Yeah. And this is where, like I was saying, like it gets real bittersweet with that whole thing. And this is what people are saying. Like everybody's happy when they find sort of three counts and all counts guilty and everything. But you see what we had to do to get guilty?
Right. Like there had to be video.
There had to be marches for 3 months.
Yes. There had to be video. There had to be medical examiners coming in to debunk the theories that the defense was like, it took so much.
He needed to have like an excellent lawyer. Like there was so many factors.
Mm-hmm. So many factors.
It was so many things that had to play out the way that I had to for it to work out.
Yeah. And then there's still people saying, oh, I don't agree with the sentence. I'm like, huh? Or agree with the verdict. I was like,
it was way too many factors had to be played out for that to work.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny we're talking about this. Today is the anniversary of the verdict coming back for Sean Bell. And they were found not guilty. I'm like, they shot that man up like 50 times. What do you mean not guilty? Like, y'all are disgusting. We're gonna move on from this because I'm angry now. Rest in peace to Shock G. Do the hump.
Yeah.
He passed away at the age of 57. They haven't said how, but he has passed away. I feel like a lot of rappers is dying. Like, what's happening?
I don't like it.
It's getting weird. It's getting weird. And I don't know if it's because we're inside or if it's really just a lot of people just passing away at the same time, but it's getting weird.
I don't like it anymore.
I don't like it anymore. Like, let's just wrap that up. Just be cool. No more for the rest of the year. DMX's service at Barclays yesterday. It was a very black event. Well, first of all, it was beautiful to see the car ride or the bike ride or whatever from Yonkers over the bridge into Brooklyn. They had DMX up on like a really big, like, what do you call them? Like flatbed kind of trucks. And they had him in a red casket that had the Rough Riders symbols on the side and on the top. It was beautiful. I was like, that looks expensive, honey. That looked like it costs a little money. Swizz's money is being well spent.
I'm like, it is DMX. So.
It was beautiful. It was just and just to see all the motorcycles and the motorbikes and all the stuff. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see. It was a very worthy of DMX send off. It started late, like all black funerals do. Because it was supposed to start, I think, at 4 or something like that. It really didn't get started till about 5:30. But you know, we always late for black funeral functions. And I didn't see the whole thing. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, but I didn't see the whole thing. But I saw a few clips. His daughter, Genova, she did kind of a remix to I'm Slippin'. And it made me cry. I was like, I tried to put myself together, but a little tear did slip out.
Yeah.
To see, you know, his child up there, like with his casket behind her. It was beautiful just to see all his children up there.
She was killing the rap.
She was killing the rap. His oldest son, Xavier, the one that he was on Iyanla Fix My Life with, he, you know, spoke as well and was like, you know, I'm stepping up to be the big brother. I'm gonna hold down all my siblings, etc., etc. Nas came up and talked a little bit about them being in Belly together. I didn't see all the people that came up. The one I saw the most of was Swizz. Swizz basically came up there and aired out the whole industry, and I was just like, oh, you're mad on today. I was like, he didn't lie. I saw some people on the internet like, I don't know why he did that at a funeral. He made it about himself. I'm like, I don't know if you know this about black funerals, but there's always going to be a family member or a friend that's going to come up there and air out all the ish.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. You just got to take it.
And I don't think y'all know how close Swizz and DMX are.
Swizz and DMX were like friends.
I don't think y'all know how close. Swizz can go up and say whatever he wants.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think y'all know how close he was.
When DMX is going out to rob people with pit bulls, he was taking Swizz with him.
Swizz was right there with him.
That's how deep of friends they are.
Yeah, like, so I don't think y'all Swizz can say whatever he wants.
He can say whatever he wants. Who gonna fight him? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Because you know who's standing right behind him? His uncle. So ain't nobody pressing him.
Yeah,
nobody.
Everybody, like, there's a certain level of closeness that Swizz is with him. Yeah,
like, and so basically what Swizz said was, you know, it's a lot of fake people out here who out here celebrating, talking about they was cool, but they wasn't checking for him when he was going through. They wasn't trying to help him. They wasn't trying to do nothing. Because, you know, DMX was like on the lowest of keys blackballed from the industry for a while.
Yeah.
By a few people. And, you know, that's that on that. But, you know, apparently the streets are saying some of those same people who blackballed DMX was in the building, and they kind of felt like Swizz was saying, don't come to the memorial tomorrow. Don't do that. Because you didn't really ride for him. Don't do it. Don't do it. And he talked about, you know, making sure you have a will and making sure that you have your stuff in order, because the bloodsuckers, as he called them, will swoop in and try to take a piece of the pie because they think you didn't have your stuff together. So I didn't disagree with nothing he said. I was like, well,
yeah,
there it is.
Because there were people from Def Jam there.
Yeah, talking about and they was the ones that was blocking him from moving forward. So, rest in peace to DMX. The official family service is today. I think BET is supposed to be streaming something. I'm recording it right now. I'm gonna try to catch it later. But rest in peace to DMX. It's just so sad. Just seeing his kids made me sad because it was like, dang, some of his kids are so young. They have no idea who he is. Like his youngest kids are like a year old, and I think 2 or 3. Those kids have very little memory of him, if any. And it's going to be, up to their parents to continue, the mothers and the other siblings to continue to teach them about their father. But the fact that they won't really have the experience that some of the older kids had. Because, DMX was a lot of things. He had a lot of issues. He had a lot of demons. He had a lot of whatever. But overall, it seemed like he really was a good father. And he loved his kids, even despite all of his issues. And so it's just kind of sad to see that, there's a portion of his kids who will grow up not really knowing him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that on that, with regards to DMX. Well, hopefully everybody will keep it classy and we won't see a lot of fighting for the next couple of years over, his estate and his stuff and whatever. But, Negroes go Negro, so
yeah, I can't
even hope for too much. Moving on to more positive things or funny things. So I don't know if you saw the story. There was a Florida couple who, and
I thought you said Florida couple,
Florida anything, Florida man, couple, Florida woman.
It
always
goes left.
It's always some foolery to follow. So there was a Florida couple who sent out their wedding invitations, inviting people to come to this mansion where they were going to do a wedding and then they were going to do a brunch the day after. Come to find out, it was a mansion that's up for sale, and the groom in this wedding had gone to the house as a potential buyer and saw it and said, oh, this would be a nice place for me and my lady to get married. The house is owned by the person who owns IHOP. So, they got big money, long money. So it's a nice Florida estate. And so these people legit sent out wedding invitations with the address to this wedding on it, with the address to this house on it. And they were really planning to have a whole entire wedding on this thing for a 2-day celebration. So
not 2 days.
It was a 2-day celebration. It was 2 days.
Okay, in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're trying to do a quick in and out before.
I found the wedding invitation online. I'm gonna have to show it to you. But it was like the Saturday was the wedding.
Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're gonna try to quickly we'll quickly run in and do this real quick and come out.
No.
Have a whole 2 days.
Because they told people it was their house. They told people that they had bought the house. This was their estate that they had just purchased, and they were having the wedding there. So this is what the place looks like. So basically they were having the wedding on Saturday, and then they were having a brunch the following Sunday morning to thank everyone for coming and, do their final send off or whatever. So yeah, Shanita Jones and Courtney Wilson. I'm not going to front. When I first read the story, I was like, this is probably some white people, because Florida stories usually are followed by wild white people. When I saw Shanita, I said, God damn it, Shanita.
No,
God damn it.
Like I thought that too until you told me that they tried to do a 2-day celebration and have a bunch after. I was like, oh, that's some black stuff. That's black.
I was like, oh my God.
When you said that, I was like, oh, that's black. That's
so
black.
Basically, what happened?
That sounds black.
They, the house is basically pending an offer. So they basically sent out these invitations, and then I guess the crew that came to set up the tables and chairs and all the decors and whatever for the wedding came to the house, and the guy was like, who's these people trespassing on my property trying to set things up? So he called 911, the guy who owns the house. His name is Nathan Finkel. Called 911. He said, I have people trespassing on my property and they keep harassing me, calling me. They're saying they're having a wedding here and it's God's message. I don't know what's going on. All I want is for it to stop. So then I read the backstory about these two people, and apparently they recently got engaged like 3-4 months ago, and the husband must have went to see the place, and he was like, I love this place. It's God's message. It's God is telling me that this is where we're going to have our wedding. So they decided to send out invitations telling people that they were having the wedding here. The police came and asked the couple to leave. They left, and that was kind of the end of that. But my whole thing is, if you were gonna
that's why I said that like when you were telling the story, I was like, it's very black, because like white Scammy and black Scammy, two different things. That's very black Scammy.
I'm like, how are you going to convince the people that this unfurnished house was yours? What's happening?
They weren't going to let people inside. Go outside.
Yeah, because the house.
You don't got to be inside.
Yeah, they didn't do their research.
All you got to do is be in the backyard.
Yeah, because basically the guy lives like, this is a big house, so he has like a cottage property on the property. So I guess when the husband went, he thought no one lived there.
Correct. So he was like, we can do this really quick and then be out.
Yeah, and it's like no, someone does.
Nobody's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if them people got married, but I was just like,
Yeah,
y'all did all the scheming and didn't at least double check to make sure nobody was there. Like, come on, y'all.
Honestly, it's not something like you don't expect someone to be in a small cottage and there's a big house there.
This is true, but you got to do your research. You got to be thorough. You never know.
It was a bad scam.
Because if I had traveled to this wedding and y'all told me, the wedding not going to be at the estate anymore, I want my goddamn money back. Y'all, we gonna have to fight because I want my money. I didn't spend money on a plane ticket. Yeah. I spent money on accommodations. I spent money on clothes. Run my money. Yeah. Your scamming is not my problem. Run my money.
Yeah.
If I was a guest that paid money to come to this wedding, I'd be very upset.
It was like, we can do this real quick.
Yeah,
nobody, because when you go to open house and you realize like, this house is empty. Nobody here.
Yeah, I'm like, but you gotta assume that, like, but why would you think that?
And also, the person who did the open house, they probably didn't show the cottage.
Probably. But why would you?
You just didn't know. You didn't know. If you don't know, you don't know.
That is.
If you don't know, you don't know.
A mess.
But that is very black Scammy to have the facade of looking mad fly, but not actually having the money for it.
Yeah, I'm like
white Scammy is using that as leverage for something else. Mm-hmm. Black Scammy is like, I just want to look fly real quick.
Yeah, I just want to stunt.
I just want to stunt real quick. And then
the invitations talk about they having the festivities at their dream home and estate. Y'all, some type of mental illness got to be at play here, because I'm like, how you thought you was going to finesse this?
Like black Scammy just be like
you were gonna you told everybody this was your house, so then you were gonna have the wedding and have the brunch, and then how were you gonna keep people from coming to quote unquote your house in the future? What was gonna be your excuse? How long was this lie gonna go on?
Yeah, that's why I said like I appreciate black Scammy because like it don't be affecting other people. It don't affect other people like that. Like white Scammy be like ruining whole lives and paychecks for other people. Mm-hmm. Black people be like, I was just trying to stunt real quick.
Yeah, I was just trying to hit a quick stunt.
Oh, my fault.
I'm like, what?
My fault.
What's going on?
At least we don't be trying to ruin whole lives. We like, we're just trying to stunt real quick. We can't stunt.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't. When I was reading the story, I said, you cannot be serious. You must be joking. You must be. They were not. They were serious. Moving on from that, so I don't know if you saw this, but Meg Thee Stallion is apparently taking a hiatus from doing music. I don't know what she's doing, but she says she's taking a hiatus from music. I want to talk about it because it came up with last week we talked about Melly leaving the music industry altogether. Now we see another female rapper talking about going on a hiatus. So I wonder what that's about. I feel like does she just need a break because she's been like everywhere for the last like year and a half? I know she's in school, so maybe she's trying to finish school. Maybe she's going to rehab. Maybe she getting surgery. I don't know what's going on. I hope she gets surgery.
I think sometimes like stuff gets overwhelming. I think stuff been kind of overwhelming with her, with things going on. I think it was a hectic year. Yeah. So I think when you have years like that, you in your mind you're kind of like, let me just back. I think that's usually when people are like, all right, let me just retire.
Yeah, let me just take a moment.
Even though they might eventually come back, but in their mind they're like, I can't have another year like this. Mm-hmm. This was a terrible year. And like it could have been a good year money wise, but just a bad year in everything else.
Yeah, because this year she was dealing with the whole, Tory Lane shot her, and then people saying Tory didn't, shoot her,
people talking her crazy about the WAP thing. Like it was a lot of things that were like focused on her. And
maybe it's just a mental health.
Yeah, like so, like I think as a celebrity, sometimes like it just so you're like, all right, let me just be out the spotlight for a second.
Yeah.
And I think when people say they're retiring from rap, I think in their mind they're retiring from the spotlight, and I think that's what.
Well, she didn't say she's retiring. She just said she was
taking hiatus. But even hiatus, it means I'm thinking. In their mind, they're saying I'm taking hiatus from the spotlight.
Yeah,
I think that's usually. I think Joe Budden is the only one that really didn't take a hiatus from the spotlight. Just he really was like, I want to rap anymore.
Yeah, like I'm done with this as a thing.
And I guess have you talked about like that whole thing about him retiring?
No,
because like I think that a lot of people don't like. I think of the people who say they retire, I trust Joe Budden to say that and mean it. Even though I still believe he will come back, I think he really meant it, because I think I know as an artist, if every time you're writing and you're kind of writing pain. And you feel like you're in a pain situation when you write, you know that like you writing will bring pain. I don't want to write anymore.
Gotcha.
I don't want to perform because like I write these painful rights, right? And I don't want to be in this pain, and I have to use that pain to pay my bills as out of obligation. Like I gotta write this pain. I have to write because. If I don't write these songs, I can't pay these bills. But I only feel in pain, so you're gonna get this pain,
right?
I don't want to. He doesn't want to feel that way.
Yeah,
and I understand.
Yeah, and I think with Meg, like because she's kind of like the new it girl in the rap scene, like I think it's a lot of pressure to keep producing.
Yeah,
and it's like
writing. I keep saying writing a song is quite hard if you keep acting like it's an easy thing.
Yeah. And it's like, I can see how that can be overwhelming, especially like when you've got other stuff going on, because like Meg kind of blew up right around the time her mom passed away.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think she's really had time to address that and grieve that properly, because it was like she started becoming, very well known to a lot of people. The next thing you know, you're seeing her at award shows, you're seeing her at the Rock Nation brunch, whatever. So I just think she didn't really have time to process all the things that have happened, and it's just been like one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. So I think maybe the hiatus is a good thing. Hopefully she'll come back better than ever.
Better than ever.
So let's talk about this 420 Verzuz real quick.
Oh yeah, Method Man
and Redman. I ain't even gonna hold you. I had a lot more fun than I thought I would, because I didn't realize I knew as many of their songs as I knew. I definitely was expecting more 420 activities to be happening. I was like, oh, this is just about to be just weed smoke everywhere. But it wasn't. They were actually giving us full performance. I admire how in shape and not out of breath the two of them were, rapping for like 3 hours. I love the cameos. EPMD came out. RZA. What's his name?
Inspector
Deck. Capadonna. Who else came out? Oh my gosh. What's the guy that sings "Let Me Clear My Throat"?
Keith Murray came out.
Oh my God, what is his name?
My mind went blank.
My mind went blank too, and it's something simple too.
Well, Eric Sermon's EPMD.
Yes. What is the name of the guy who sings "Let Me"? Like, I'm embarrassed now that I can't remember this. It's mad simple too, and I'm gonna be mad when I find it. I'm Googling it right now. When I see the name, I'm gonna
DJ Cool.
DJ Cool. I knew it was something simple like that. I wanted to say DJ Cool, but I was like, that's not right. But yes, DJ Cool came out. Who else they had come out? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but it was like a lot of nice guest appearances. I was annoyed that Eric Sermon was there and Redman didn't do React. I was ready. I was like, what? He's here. What's the issue? Yeah. But they didn't do it. But I mean, they also were on for 3 hours, so they had to.
They were on for a long time.
They had to wrap things up, I suppose. But I enjoyed myself. It was definitely something nice to watch on a Tuesday night. I felt like they could have gone on even longer. Thinking about all the songs they didn't do, I'm like, this could have gone on forever.
Yeah, but like people were saying it was long, so probably shut it down.
Yeah. And then I like it not having a host. I understand why the Earth, Wind and Fire one had a host, but I don't need a host for this one. Like, this one was fine without one. Yeah, I enjoyed myself. And
they ended off with the Rock Walla, which was awesome.
Yes, I love that song. It's one of my favorites. I was waiting for it the whole time. I was like, maybe they'll do it at the end because I enjoy that sign. But yeah, it was nice. They both look good for their ages because they both 50 or close to it, and they look good. They look good,
and they both know each other's songs.
Yes, which is also exciting.
So a lot of times, like, they were both the hype man for each other's songs.
It kind of was reminiscent of the Snoop and DMX one because they knew each other's songs and they were kind of hyping each other during theirs. So it was kind of similar to that. I was like, look, it's nice.
But I also understand people's version of, like, their critiques of it not being a Verzuz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more just a performance.
It was a performance of two friends. Yeah, two friends hanging out,
and like, I understand why people don't like it when they're friends because, like, it's not really hitting the same.
Right. As when, like, I mean, but I also don't want, like, Jeezy Gucci energy. No,
I don't want
that.
to be enemies, but, like, you want someone to be like, oh, shoot, that you hit me with that. Let me just, try, like, more of a battle.
Trying to, like, one up each other. Yeah. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. I think the next one coming up is the SWV versus, what them girls' name? Escape?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch because if I gotta listen to Candy Burris, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Her voice is for somebody. It's not me. There's something about it that irritates me. But anyways, if y'all looking for something to watch, if you like Married at First Sight, you should watch Unmatchables because that is comedy. Okay. Mark and I watched the first episode the other day. So what Unmatchables is basically a show where they try to, like, help people who applied for Married at First Sight but could not be matched with somebody. So this first episode, it was this girl, her name is Ashley, and this guy named Xavius, and they're both interested. The guy Xavius is apparently very particular about what he likes and what he doesn't like, and this, that, the third, and the fourth. He don't like big girls. He don't like this. He don't like that. He's big on perfumes and smells and so on and so forth. So he's a little strange. And then the girl, she hasn't dated anybody since she was in high school, and she's like 32 years old. And, you know, she be farting in public a lot. And it's weird. So they go on a date and old girl farts while on the date. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's cringeworthy. But it's hilarious nonetheless. Y'all should watch it. It'll bless you. It's just like, this is why dating is hard and why people stay single. Because if this is what's out here, then I could see why. Like,
that's right.
If I were single, I would just stay single because it seems like the offerings are just, they're just not giving what they're supposed to give. They're not giving. So, but if you're looking for some entertainment, watch that show. I think you'll enjoy it. So, is there anything else I wanted to talk about?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you haven't watched it yet, go and get your life. Yeah, it is so good.
Mad themes of racism and how the army treats people. It's really good.
It's very well written. Very well written.
It's very good.
And I like the black perspective that is woven through the show. It's so good. It's so good. Like,
yeah, I think I appreciate the nuance of Isaiah Bradley versus Sam Wilson. Mm-hmm. Not versus. I'm not gonna say versus because they're not completely against each other.
Yeah.
But the nuance of, like, their perspectives and, like, how, like, it's developed. Because like Isaiah Bradley has been through a lot. Mm-hmm. He was like the super soldier before. Who was treated terrible and everything, and he was like, nah. No black person can be Captain America. They're trash. America's trash. I'm be out here. They don't deserve us. Basically, is how he was, which is a valid critique.
Yes, especially from a person who has lived through,
correct,
Jim Crow and all these other, like, crazy eras of America. Yeah, that is a very valid feeling for them to have.
I've went through all this stuff and everything.
Yeah,
but Sam Wilson's perspective was kind of like, I live here too. Right. Basically, I live here too. My ancestors have fought so hard. I should at least I should fight also.
Right.
And I should keep fighting. I should be able to be Captain America because my ancestors fought me for me to do this. So I shouldn't now not do it because of, like, I'm going. No, I know people are not going to like it. That's fine. I'll be fine.
They'll be all right.
people are not gonna like it, but I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it just because it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, and he had a very powerful speech. I'm not going to spoil too much, but he had a very powerful speech in there. If you haven't watched the series, please watch it. Very good.
It'll bless you.
And then the next one I think is Loki.
Oh yes, I can't wait to watch the Loki one.
Loki one's going to be good.
I'm going to be annoyed because Loki can't help himself in terms of staying out of nonsense. But if you do like the history or the research on Norse mythology, Loki is the god of mischief, and so that's literally what he does. So I guess he lives up to what his role is supposed to be. But I'm just like, if you could just not be involved in some mess sometimes, things would be so much simpler if you would just get out of the nonsense every now and again. Like if you could just, but that would be too easy. When is that one coming out? Did they say?
There is a day for it.
Because listen, Disney Plus, if you don't have Disney Plus, I need you to go get it because it's worth the money, honey. They're giving quality content on there. Quality.
June 11th.
June 11th. Okay, so they're giving us a little break. So go back, watch WandaVision again. Watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier again. Get your life, and then get yourself ready for Loki, because I'm ready. And then the other thing I saw is that they're making a Captain America 4 with Falcon turned Captain America as the lead, which I'm very excited to see. I was also reading an article that was interesting about like why Sam and Bucky catch the shield differently when they throw it.
Why?
Basically, they were saying Bucky catches it differently because his body is built to take the impact of it coming back to him.
Yeah.
Sam is regular, so they wanted to show, the difference between like this is a regular, like, because Bucky he has the arm, he's a super soldier. Yeah, so he can just be like, ooh, like,
and same thing with
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers super soldier, so he catches it differently.
Yeah.
Sam was like,
this thing's gonna kill me.
I'm a regular dude.
This thing is gonna kill me. I have to.
This was a part when he was training, and he was like, "Yo, this shit was crazy."
Yeah,
like I was like, "That thing's gonna cut your head off."
Yeah, it was gonna knock his head right off. I was like,
"You gotta be."
I'm like, they about to decapitate Sam right in front of our eyes.
Relax with that shield only.
Yeah, that's
so he does throw it differently. Like and
he moves. He has to be in motion.
Yeah,
because he can't just stand there and catch it the way Steve or what you call it can.
Any super soldier really.
Yeah, or any super soldier. They can just stand there and catch it when it comes back. He has to already be in motion because the force of it will knock him down.
Yeah.
Because he is a regular man. It's a regular man.
But it also looks like it's going to be a combination of Captain America and Iron Man. Kind of like in terms of Sam, because he has a lot of technology.
Yes.
In his suit.
Yes.
And everything, and he can fly around like Iron Man. Mm-hmm. So, I guess his person talking and everything would just be the Red Wing. Mm-hmm. So like I can see how like they're trying to satisfy the technology portion that like might have been missing after Iron Man left. Okay. They're trying to satisfy that part of the Marvel universe by having him in there.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
Yeah, because without Tony, that whole thing will be missing, like his excessive technology and all those things that people are looking for in Marvel. Mm-hmm. Like they will look for Tony for like, oh, what new things did he come up with in this? Because like every movie he came up with something new.
Yeah, this is true.
There's always something new, some new technology thing and everything. And like people appreciate it for that because like Sam is not a fighter like Steve, but he uses his technology well, and I think that's kind of where they're kind of taking Sam. But he's also Captain America, so it's like I said, I think they're trying to find a way to like merge a lot of that stuff together.
Yes, indeed. I just read something that was annoying.
Anything else?
Just new music, and apparently Lindsey Graham doesn't think systemic racism exists because we have a black vice president or a black and South Asian vice president. That's what I was reading while you were saying that, and I was just like, you know what?
I'm not shocked you said that.
I'm not doing this on today. I'm moving on with my life.
Because I do not like that man, Lindsey Graham. I do not like him at all. I do not like him. I do not like him. I do not like that man.
I can't.
I do not like that man, Ted Cruz. I do not like that man, Lindsey Graham. I do not like them. I do not like that man, Tucker Carlson. I do not like those men. I do not like them at all.
No, they're all big trash.
Every time they talk, I am angry. Every time.
Like, I'm just like,
I'm just angry.
Why do you still have a microphone? Please.
I do not like them at all.
Not at all. New music. Snoop Dogg put out From the Streets to the Suites. Snoop Dogg is out here in these streets. He gonna keep putting out albums till the wheels fall off. He ain't gonna stop.
No.
Corday put out a little something called Just Until. It's 4 songs, and essentially it's just kind of until I put out my album when it's done. He's got a feature with Q-Tip and a feature with Young Thug. A feature with Young Thug, what I just said.
It looked interesting. I haven't listened to it yet, but it looks like it's interesting.
Yes. Popcorn, the Jamaican artist, has
who's Zamunda?
I don't know who Zamunda is, but it's somebody. Has something out called Solid Focus Rhythm. It's Popcorn, Zamunda, and Furnace. Moneybagg Yo put out A Gangsta's Pain. I like Moneybagg Yo for that song. I thought a broke said something. I appreciate that. It empowers me. Mo and Zaytoven put out a collaboration called Motoven. And if you don't know who Zaytoven is, he's like one of the Atlanta producers. A lot of Gucci Mane's sounds are compliments of Zaytoven. So that's what kind of came out this week.
Yeah, Slim Thug too.
Slim Thug? Oh, I missed that one. Slim Thug put something out?
Yeah, Slim Thug and little Sir Yachty.
Sir Yachty, the one that Joe Budden screamed at aggressively.
People not let that go.
Because why was he yelling at that boy? For what? Stop yelling at him. Like, I understand that she was concerned about him not knowing his stuff. That is a real concern, but you didn't have to scream at that boy like that. It was very upsetting. It was very upsetting to me and my homegirls who watched. Her and Chris Brown put out a song called Come Through. Fabio Foreign put out a song called Unruly. Blah! Sorry. I can't do the Fabio sound, but
what was that?
I was trying to be Fabio.
What was that?
I was trying to be Fabio. The Weeknd and Ariana Grande, they have a remix of Save Your Tears. Georgia Smith put out a song, Gone. YG put out a song with somebody named Mozzie called Bompton to Oak Park. I feel like I saw something about Bompton before, like somebody has a whole thing. I think it's funny when the people call things that start with C's, B's. It's funny to me.
It's funny to you.
It is. I'm just like, this seems like a lot of effort for you to just not call it by the name that it is.
So I guess, why not?
Yeah, but it seems like a lot of effort that I wouldn't personally embark upon, but people do what they want.
Like I said, they've been doing it for years. Like, why not? Just keep going.
Live your best life, I suppose. So yeah, that was it for the new music. Jagged Edge put something out. Okay, interesting.
It's called Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge.
I don't think that's actually a Jagged Edge song. It's called Jagged Edge.
Okay. They put music out?
I was looking at the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, they put music out? Let me find out.
No, it's called Jagged Edge. Like the jagged edge of a knife. Okay.
Got it. Cool beans. So yeah, that was it for the new music.
New music.
New music. New music. All right. So, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Bring up?
No.
Promote anything of that nature?
I appreciate y'all. Please go to our store and get a t-shirt like this.
Yes, please patronize our store.
If you don't see the video, I'm holding up the t-shirt of the All Love No Fear podcast t-shirts.
Get you some podcast merch. It'll bless you.
I got a podcast t-shirt on.
Yes, I want one too.
This is yours. I'm just wearing it.
Take my shirt off.
You wore my shirt yesterday. I wear the shirt.
Well, okay. I guess. That argument has now become defunct. Yes. Yes, get our merch. Get the merch. We got pillows. We got t-shirts. We have things.
All the things.
We have all the things. We appreciate your patronage and your support.
We do.
Finally, if you're looking for something to entertain you, I suggest you go watch Kev on Stage's YouTube. He's got a video of him spoofing Toby Nwigwe's all of his songs where he's doing the mint green aesthetic. So go get into that. It'll bless you. I appreciate Kev on Stage and how
his promotion. Yeah.
His promotion game is top notch. Okay, top notch. He will not be topped. Okay, put some respect on that man's name.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it, y'all. So we gonna get on out of here. We gonna go do adult things. By that I don't mean. Well, it means whatever you think it means. I was gonna do an explanation. I'm like, for what? I'm grown. I don't have to explain anything. But I'm going to go do things that adults do to get their lives together. Yeah, because there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done around here. Adulting is hard. I think housekeepers are a worthwhile investment. Don't let anybody tell you that they're not. Okay? Get your house cleaner. It'll bless you. Jesus didn't down the cross for you to be cleaning your house by yourself all the time. He didn't. I don't believe that.
Okay, we could put Jesus into this. That's right. I guess. That's cool.
He said live life and live it more abundantly. I can live it abundantly if somebody else is cleaning this.
Okay, I guess.
That's my interpretation of the scripture. And so I'm going to go forward with that as my thought. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we bid you adieu. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, No Fear podcast. All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.